All right, we are live. Let me get this tweeted out here. YouTube.com. See. All right. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Sorry, a little delay there. Just end of the week here, just trying to get everything kind of out and everything. So, but here we are. So, good stuff. I hope everybody had a great trading day today. So, wow, what another day in the market. We've got down 15 points. Wow, amazing. So, pretty incredible stuff. This is what we got. So, right now, state of the market, we are on the monthly chart, still green, right? So this week we gapped up to all-time highs and we kind of pushed back a little bit. Pretty interesting stuff. So right now we have the green spinning top month. And this week, not quite an insight week, right? Because we hit those all-time highs, but we came down off of that pretty quickly, right? So right now we're kind of at a Harami week, after a dark cloud cover week. So we'll see. Hope we have one more day left. Amazon's a little bit down after hours, after its earnings. It's down about 30 points. So we'll see how that affects the market. Right now, the futures are green, even with Amazon down. So that's pretty interesting right there. So Google had some pretty strong earnings. So basically, kind of with that, I guess they balance out. So we'll see. Intel had some good numbers. So we'll see how that carries in tomorrow. It's definitely going to be interesting tomorrow, looking at our 15 orbs and the earnings after the IV crush. So that should be pretty interesting as well. Daily chart, inside day. So Harami day, and also inside with its upper and lower shadows. Actually, kind of started at the highs and then just kind of dropped down. So and then gave a little bit of a belt hold bar type style. So on the downside. So we'll see if that gives any momentum kind of going forward. So, but inside day to start tomorrow. So, if we kind of open, if we open up 3 points, we might kind of open up around here. So we'll see. It'll be a little bit of a distance from the tail there, or from the top. So we'll see what kind of information we get there. The Fed meets on the 31st, so on Wednesday. So we might see some choppy action kind of going into that. I think everybody's kind of waiting on whether or not there's going to be a rate cut, things like that. So that should be very, very interesting, kind of going forward there. So good stuff. Let's take a look at the price action from today off of our 5-minute chart. Again, these are the levels that we tweet out to our subscribers for Positive Trends, and just really, really helpful stuff that we use on a daily basis to try to get a gauge of what's happening in the market, and particularly looking for opportunities on the SPX. So here you can see, basically just open right here below the prior day's highs, so gap down a little bit, and then kind of push down, right? Kind of a big clue is on the 15-minute chart is look how strong that first bar was on the 15-minute bar that pushed through the daily pivot level here, right? So it's kind of like when you have a big gap between levels like this, I do like these, right? When we have nice ranges that we can work with. So when you have a real strong bar with that, it's very, very possible that next level is going to get hit now that you had the big strong push through here. So sometimes these longer time frames can help you gauge that. So we pointed this out in the live stream this morning there. It pretty much hit right on the money. So that was basically there. It hit that the weekly R1 level, and also the S1 level 2 on the daily, right? So, sorry, zoom out here a little bit. And try to hold that a little bit, right? So gave it basically inside bar here. Try to push itself up, right? This was the end of the trend line, right? Kind of broke its way up of the minor pivot, and then worked its way up here through the daily pivot, and then chopped around a little bit, kind of pushed its way down, right? This is kind of like the big move of the day, right, from kind of this level to this level, and that gave essentially the majority of the move there, other than the gap from the open. We chopped around a little bit into the end of the day. It was a little bit tough to catch up, and this was a pretty significant one right here. So you had red, green, red, green, red, green, red, green, red, green, and then it finally broke out of this downward trend line, and then get through the minor pivot, and then gave a little push up there. A little bit tough. The bull flag right here was enough to chop some premium, and then it didn't really get much of a move after that, and then you kind of chopped in at the close. So that kind of gives you an idea of what was happening today. So let's take a look though, see how it looks on the daily chart. So right now with the daily chart, right, this is the channel that we've been looking at all through 2018, right, and 2019. So kind of a significant high to low, 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 high, high, low, 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 and then finally broke down here, back in December, had our Christmas reversal, tested the lower end of this channel, and then worked its way up here to the upper pitchfork midpoint line, right? Found resistance here again at these resistance levels, did tag all-time highs, but they pushed it back down. They tried to do it again here when we got to all-time highs again, and they only kept it in that zone, right? And then they found some support there. And kind of worked its way up basically, and here we are back to this pink line here, this midpoint line. So pretty close to the upper end of the channel. But let's see, today they kind of push it down off of it again today. Let's see if we get some rally. It would be very, very interesting with Amazon down 30 points and the market up 4 points. If Amazon catches a reversal tomorrow, the market's going to scream. It's going to be, it'll grab a huge amount of momentum because Amazon is the number one, listed stock on the, heavy weighted stock on the SPX. So with the markets gapping up tomorrow and then Amazon catches a reversal back up tomorrow, that's going to be a huge push, right? And we might, tag the top of this channel, and then maybe we'll start testing like the higher end of these ranges right here. So that would be very, very interesting. So that being said, talking about reversals. So today, this week we've talked about a bunch of cool stocks and some of the behavior that they've had this week. And, so I want to talk about another reversal. So, we talked about the 30-minute bar on Netflix yesterday, and how it worked on the 30 orb. And today I want to kind of show another reversal methodology that's very, very similar, but using a different time frame, right? So, Caterpillar is interesting, right? So Caterpillar, the other day when Boeing had earnings, now Boeing, had its continuation move to the downside, right? So, Boeing was really, really rough, and it's still, looking a little bit iffy right there. So it's probably going to be again on the watch list to the downside. But what Caterpillar did was really interesting, right? So it gapped down, right? Day one on earnings, but it found strength right away, right? You can even see here, it's 15 orb. Right here, right? This is the kind of stuff that we look at, right? And even here, you had that inside bar right at the 15 orb level, right? And then it kind of worked up, retested the orb, right? And then back up, right? So nice little move right there on CAT, and then came down and kind of hung out around that area for a little bit. So some really interesting stuff, right, on the different time frames. And what I really liked about this is the hourly chart. Right, so you guys know the hourly chart. I like to talk about it a lot, especially inside bars over the VWAP, double inside bars, on the 60-minute time frame. But these hammers on the time frame can be very, very powerful, right? So we saw this on Roku, right? We saw this on Zoom. Just some really big, these 60-minute hammers can be very, very powerful, right? And so even though it only got a little bit of a move that day, it held its ground here, right, through those 15 orb levels. And look, even this bar here today on the 60-minute time frame really couldn't get below the real body of this 60-minute bar. So these are key time frames that you really want to look at. You want to look at something significant like this. I mean, a huge amount of volume, right, that came in on the gap down, obviously. But what did that volume create? Right, so that volume created a hammer, right? It created. This is the bulls were clearly in charge, right? The real body extends beyond over 50% of the range of the bar. It was a huge range bar for Caterpillar. So what this means is that the bulls were in control here, right? So granted, people got slammed, but the buyers came in and stepped up on it. So chopped around for the rest of the day there, and it held today and worked its way up. So I want to show how today was actually a 30-minute orb for CAT, right? Because it's day two, right? We look at the 15 orbs on day one, but day two we look for the 30 because it just gives a little more time for upgrades and downgrades and anything that's kind of pushing the stock the next day, and then to kind of get out of the way, and then we look to see how well that does, kind of going forward. So here, you can see the 30 orb was good. I mean, it kind of put in this belt hold par, and then kind of like a real thick hammer right here through the prior day's levels, and then it worked its way up. But let me show you something very actionable, which is a little bit different than what we saw yesterday with Netflix. Here we had the 15, right? So you can still use your 15-minute levels, even though the main levels that we're looking at here are on the 30 orb today, right? So if we took this, right, activate draw line right here, and we draw this over the 30 orb levels here for today. And there. Okay, so we push that up, right? Make that 30. Just so we know what we're looking at. 30 orb. 30 orb. Okay, so it stays 30 orb, and then look what happens within the shorter time frames. And this is the key, to use the different time frames to your advantage, right? To use price action that we know and we could work with, right? So today here, now you can see the pink lines, right, or the 30 and the 30 on the 15 line looks a lot different, right, than the 30, right? This sort of tells you what was going on inside there, right? So that 30-minute level looked like this. It included this big green bar, right? But this big green bar was a huge move today, right? That was almost a 1-point move, 94% move today on Caterpillar. And so you could see that first bar looked pretty weak, right? They were trying to push it down today, and they couldn't do it, right? And like we said, they held that 60 hammer level where the bulls were in charge. And so what it did is it tried to push down today on this 15-minute chart and failed, right? So that gave you kind of a that range, and this ended up being truly the 30-orb range. And then look what happened. Gave you an inside bar right here, and this is kind of like where the miracle happens right here. Look at that double inside bar, right? And so what that does is it does a couple things. One, it's your doji sandwich on the 15-minute time frame, right? So you have a doji right here between a thick bar, right? And so very potential entry is right over the the high of that open close range, right? With a stop just down here, right? So you're talking about the amount of risk today just off of that trade, right? Is 131.63 with a stop at 131.32. So 30 cents of risk, really, right, on this sandwich because of the price action that we have here, right? All the stuff that we've talked about right over the past couple months, right? So here's your doji sandwich here on the 15, and then it pushes all the way back up, right, to the 30-minute orb level, right? So we're at the high of the day right now. So I mean, after a big green bar like this, okay, so you hold, right? At this point, you're long. You break here, even if you broke the double inside level up, right, or even if you broke that level up, right, you're still long. You've got your stop now. You've pushed really up to this level. This 15 minutes is done, right? You can move either your stop here, or you can move at 50% of the range on a strong bar like this, right? Lock in profit, right, and then just let it go. So here it goes. Next bar, super strong, big push right there, moving bar by bar, right? Inside bar here, momentum hammer, right? Move your stop here, big push, inside, 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 and then right here is a good place to take profit off of this. It could have stopped you out right here, or even off of this, because that could be a potential reversal doji right there. But again, if held for the rest of the day, a little bit of a pullback. If you trim some, maybe trim half here, let the rest, kind of ride off of your moving averages or whatever the case is, and then look at that all the way up into the end of the day. Huge move today on Boeing, right? So big move today for a big reversal day. So, and you can see what was the range there, 3.89, very, very big day for, I'm sorry, did I say Boeing? I meant Caterpillar. So yeah, amazing stuff. And that's just using a different time frame, right? Setting your boundaries with the larger time frame, right? And finding the price action with the lower time frame to see exactly what's happening, and then looking at your candles on those lower time frames. Like, look how much this means. This failed push down means so much, right? It means a lot more sometimes than just a kind of a belt hold bar, an inverted hammer, right? Because when you can see what's going on in there, you can really see what was happening, right? So they couldn't push it down in 15 minutes, double inside, and then up. So anyway, cool stuff like that. So just wanted to share that with you to kind of wrap up the week. Another cool reversal on some of our 15 orb and 30 orb stocks, things like that to really make things happen. So hope you guys found that helpful. At this point, if anybody has any questions or chart requests, feel free to plug those into the chat window, and we'll get through as many as we can. We'll try to wrap up by 10:30, so we can all get a good night's sleep and have an awesome day trading tomorrow. So good stuff. Palace Construction, what's happening? Good evening, Harvey. Welcome, my friend. B, hello. Alpesh, what's going on? Hello. Stacy, hello, everyone. Hello. Sarah, good evening. Jason, what's happening? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Dennis, good evening. Thank you again for following along. Appreciate it. SFDC4S here. Yes, president accounted for. Very nice. Colossal, hey, how about Disney today? Finally holding something. Yeah. Hodl. Diz. Loving it. Nice day on Disney today, guys. So, look at that. One sec. See if I can get there we go. Look at that move on Disney today. Fantastic stuff, right? Look at that. That even gave a double inside 15 today over its 15 orb, right? So double inside 15, worked its way up, right? 30, double inside 30, up, right? Then double inside 60 at the end of the day and up. I mean, what a great day for Disney today. Got through its cloud, right? Inside day up too. That's kind of the key. So, got a message today, from a subscriber, and basically one of the things is, what do we look for, right? So, and we talk about this a lot, right? The larger time frames mean more, right? There's more power behind it. There's more stuff going on. So that's why we always look at, kind of our weekly charts and our monthly charts, just kind of see what's really going on here, right? So when you think about it, right? Here's an inside month, right? It's still working that inside month up, right? So, things like that. When we see these things break on the bigger time frames, and then we can find setups on the lower time frames, it's even better, right? So look what happened here. Inside day on Disney. So yesterday's high, right, was 141.59. So once we get above that level, 141.59, where did that correspond to? Right, 141.59, like right here, right in this level, right in the middle of this level, and then you get here, lower time frame, right, these inside bars, 141.89, 141.59, right here. So this level, you can see all the price action that's going on here as it's testing it. Look at that. It's tried to break out of the inside day the first time, right? Came back in. Try to break out again, inside bar, give you another inside bar. It's telling you something. It's telling you it wants out of that inside day range, right? And then it continued its way up. So that's really awesome. And they gave an incredible candle today for Disney. So that's a very, very strong bar. And the volume came up by the end of the day too. So that's even better. So we definitely like that. Nice job. Nice job, Call Saul. Palace Construction, Amazon can bounce back? Yeah, absolutely. Amazon, it's amazing that you think like, what was it? Down 30 points. Look at the expected move was like 70. It was down to 1900 at one point, so it did move 70 points. It did, and then it came back. I think we have an inside day on it too, right? So 2001. Yep. So inside day today too. They did push it down at the end of the day, right into earnings. So we'll see. That should be pretty interesting too. They put some volume in that. Look at that. Blah. Right at the end, right before earnings, and then they flushed it, right? So now it's kind of about 50% retracement of its gap, right? So you go here. Right, where do we close? Right, was that the last bar of the day, or is that after hours? Yeah, it's after hours. So there, close, down. I mean, look at it, guys. We're over 50% retracement, right? Probably closer if I make that a little bit better. Almost 61.8 retracement just so far, right? So I mean, it's got yeah. I think there's definitely a chance for it to do its thing. And then if that thing goes up, like we were saying, market could hit all-time highs tomorrow if Amazon makes a bounce. So. And if it does, and if we can find a setup like we did today, like with Caterpillar, with Amazon, wow, we could, if we could catch like a double inside 15 up or something like that on Amazon, and then with the IV crush on it, we could really have a great Friday lotto day with Amazon. That would be fantastic if we did that. So go prime time, go, exactly. 80 p.m. management, MGMT, sorry. Beyond, you're holding with Butterfly with tomorrow expiration. Cool. Let's take a look at BYND. Beyond, guys, I mean, it's not fake anymore. I mean, the market was down, 20 points today, 15 points today, and plus the gap, Beyond's serious. Look at that inside 30, right? Inside, it's up. Inside 60 over the VWAP, we love that. Another inside 60 over the VWAP, love that stuff. Beyond's not playing. 60-minute bars that have 2 million shares. That's not retail money. You know what I mean? That's real money. This is the real deal right here. They're pushing it up. So it's a freight train right now. So pretty incredible stuff. But nice. Yeah, I wish you the best on that one, of course. So session, yeah. So we just looked at Beyond right here. Right, so I mean, look at that inside day up. It looks like it was catchable too, barely. Let's see, so the high yesterday was 205.50. The low today was 205.45. You had 5 cents of risk today on catching the entire Beyond move, right? Let's see if it was even possible to catch here, like on like a 5-minute chart. So once you have these levels out there, right? Yep. So we opened here, came down, tagged the inside day range, and back up. This is a mess right here, being in this stuff. But then it kept going. Right, so it's tough to trade, but the charts don't lie. Look at that, incredible day today. 17-point range on Beyond. Things gonna be awesome. This thing's gonna be like a big tradable stock for a while. I mean, it's not. I don't think it's gonna be like Tilray unless they do something crazy. Like what is? I'm sorry, I meant to look. Did they have earnings coming up here? Did I miss earnings? Wait a second. That's WWE. BYND. When's Beyond's earnings coming up? Didn't they just have it? Didn't they miss? Yeah, they had a miss recently, right? No, it's coming up. Here. Yeah, 729. So Beyond is coming up. This will be very interesting. What if they beat, right? What if they beat all expectations? I think could go to 300 just like Tilray. Anyway, cool stuff. WWE. Yeah, they had a huge day today with earnings. I remember seeing some traffic, some news traffic come through on this one. Give it a second just to pull up here. Look at that big day today on WWE. Oh yeah, big stuff, right? So 5.79 range, nice big move for WWE inside day, gap and go. Pretty strong stuff there on WWE. So at this point, big volume, big gap. It could continue, right? I mean, so that was a nice breakaway gap. Didn't quite get over a couple of these levels, but I think this is definitely worth watching, right? Because if it breaks over today's high, usually you get that after a move, right? And then you get an extra move up, but it also would correspond to a prior pivot. So I think your next step is that 78 level, right, on that. So that would be interesting. Cost, yeah, how's cost doing? Gosh, cost, what is it, up like 10 points or something like that? Every time we swung this successfully recently, in the group, and it's just one of those ones that you take your eye off it for a little bit, it can be gone. Oh, it's up 20 points. I wish I'd stayed in. Right? Yeah. Okay. So we did good. We got it. We took our profit and we got out. So and it's just been chopping around down here, but it looks pretty interesting. I mean, here's the deal with with Costco. It will chop around for a while, right? And then when it comes back, look at this, all this crazy chop here through this megaphone formation and then back up. So it can do it. Sometimes it just waits on earnings, and then after earnings, right, it gives you that gap, and then it goes, right, and then they get an upgrade, and it's awesome. So we'll see. I mean, it's done its fair share of going down too. So it missed on earnings this time and then kind of flushed, and definitely didn't get a continuation. Kind of worked its way up here, really, really slow. But see what it did? Worked its way up really slow. Chop, 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 and then it beat on earnings, and then good, right? Then chop, 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 chop. So just be careful with that. But Costco is a monster, and then ZM, nice. ZM, great stuff, and congrats, for everybody who's been catching a couple of these plays. This is good. This is right inside day. Took the inside day up and then came back within the range. So, but Zoom can move. It's it does give a lot of good opportunities, right? I mean, look at this. Here's your 15 on Zoom, guys. We just talked about yesterday, and today, kind of look at that, up, inside, inside, inside. From contraction leads to expansion, right? So that was a nice move on Zoom today. Perfect. It's like a little flag, right? Little pennant, and then measured move up. Zoom can move, and then it just kind of retraced back a little bit, chopped around for the rest of it. But that's a nice bar to catch right there. Zoom's pretty cool too. Zoom and beyond. I mean, these are some of the new IPOs that are actually fun to trade. So let's take a look at PayPal. Oh my goodness, I kind of sort of spelled it. P-Y, there, right. P-Y-P-L, there. My other pinky was I don't know, I just wanted to type the A for some reason. A good one here too. This is another reversal one too, double inside 15, just like Caterpillar, right? So it pushed down off of its 15 order. This is one of the fast ones, double inside 15 at Fibonacci extension 1.382 Fibonacci extension, and then that breakout there put it back inside the orb range, and then worked its way all the way to the top. So nice move on PayPal. Let's take a look at the chart. So yeah, kind of a big move right there off of that gap down. It'll be interesting. We'll definitely keep an eye on it tomorrow on our 30 orb list and see if it kind of can give a nice little reversal too. Now they did miss, right? Well, Caterpillar missed too, but they, it looks like they beat on maybe a year-over-year basis or whatever the case was. But definitely worth keeping an eye on tomorrow. So they definitely push it down a little bit to put us below the fib fan line. So it might be good. There's a little gap down here that I could try. So definitely worth keeping an eye on either way. Hey Trina, how's it going? NetEase and Anthem. All right, let's take. So this one, gosh, look at all that green. It likes to either do green, 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 red, 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 green. It looks like one of those, what is it, Wilder studies or something like that. So yeah, lots of red right here. It may be ready. It may be ready for a little bit of a bounce. Just kind of based on the way it kind of moves. Here's that open gap, right? Here's that support zone. It tried to get below it. It's right below it right now. But it filled this gap right here, right? And there's another gap down here. But if it can get above these levels, right, this 243, 50, 75, it kind of hold those levels, it might start working on that its path up, right? So just just keep your trend line on it. Remember we looked at this recently, right? Here's your lower level, right? If it broke down below there, it did. It's kind of working its way down, but still give it a chance to maybe give you a reversal. It has a really sharp move, so that's very interesting. Definitely worth keeping an eye on. ANTM. Okay, yeah. So decent reclaim of the days. It looks very much like the PayPal kind of candle, right? Gap down into a gap, filled the gap, came back up, right, and then filled that gap. So let's see how it looked today. 30 time frame. Ooh, tough to catch that move. It was a nice reversal move right there. Couldn't catch it on the 15s. Let's see if it was on the 5s, if there's any possibility here. Yeah, a little bit of stuff here, potentially. It's a little triangle right here, kind of broke out of that triangle. Key volumetric level too. So kind of did that on the 5-minute time frame a little bit there. On the 3, a little bit. I mean, inside 3 there. Whoop, all the way up. Very interesting. Yeah, so I like how it held it today. As a closing gap up here that it could still work on. So, I would expect a little bit of chop on this thing. Here was the last time it kind of like pushed down, gave kind of like this kind of bar, and then it did work its way up for like 3-4 days. So that does have some potential on it. So, hi Yappa, how's it going? J&J? Yeah, let's take a look at J&J. Okay, you can see I keep a lot of lines on this one. So let's just take a look here. This is a NetFry. I had asked about this the other day, and so this is kind of like the trend line right here. Here's your bump. Here's another bump, right? So this little bump here got through it, took out yesterday's inside day, took that up, and then took out that minor pivot high, right? It kind of worked its way up here. So now it has reached this downward trend line, okay? So just be careful of that. So it has to get through this downward trend. This is the key one, right, for this to really continue. So if it can get above this line and give you a minor pivot, then you've got a pivot line that you could use to potentially work its way up. So it's trying here. Or look for shorting opportunities now that it's coming to the downward trend line. So yeah, 80 p.m. MGMT. Yeah, so Intel, we're definitely gonna look at that one. Let's see how Intel is looking here. Oh, let's go to this one. INTC. Yeah, so that's up nicely after hours. So that should help the semis. I mean, should help the market too. So I mean, Intel is still a big company. So yeah, so nice earnings will be interesting. We'll definitely look at that for some fun action tomorrow, for sure. And it's been in a great uptrend. Hey, Enjoy Life, how's it going? Good to see you. TuneFed, what's happening? QSR, yeah, absolutely. So QSR, there. Restaurant Brands International. Let's take a look. Okay, so daily. Wow, big uptrend. Big uptrend. Decent volume too. I don't think I've ever traded this one before. High. There. Perfect uptrend, right? So tag the upper trend line here and kind of bounced off of it a little bit. So just kind of make sure the trend is up until proven otherwise. So that's a good thing. Jason, yeah, so Netflix, Facebook, CMG, and URI. Yeah, my pleasure. So let's take a look. So Netflix. Oh, guys. Yeah, so Netflix, and I can't remember if I tweeted this out today. I know yesterday we talked about the reversal on Netflix, and so we had a nice continuation move today. Now, keep in mind, guys, once it gets to 330, right, that's your potential resistance, that potential gap resistance zone. So if they want to keep this thing down, they can. It does look like it wants to get back up to the congestion area, but pretty quick move finally. So we talked about the inside 30 reversal yesterday, right, off of the 30 orb, right? That was a huge move yesterday, and it did one today. So I just wanted to let you know that it did one today. In fact, one of the members in our room this morning and on the live stream called it out and said, hey, inside 30 on Netflix, and real nice move because it was right at the top of the 30 orb too, this level right here, and then it pushed right through it and gave a real nice move right on Netflix because it moves fast, a high beta stock, so that moves your levels really well. And then look what this did too. It gave you an inside doji sandwich as well. Well, not inside, but harami doji right here. So there's your entry for your second entry. Stop right here, back up, right? inside, then from contraction leads to expansion, inside 30 right there, and then a push up again. So yeah, nice move on Netflix. At this point, it could, right, if the market's really strong tomorrow, it could start to run into the gap here and, try to work its way up. I wouldn't say it's going to fill the gap overnight, but watch out for 330. It could get some resistance right there. So be careful with that one. Facebook, Facebook. So earnings today, great earnings, higher earnings gap, right? So we kind of we gapped above that today. And I was expecting, more of a gap and go type stuff. We only got 206 to 208, only 2 points out of that, right? And then it kind of came back in. Then it came back in hard, right? So we had right that bar on the 30. Here's your 15 bar. This is your key here. Is your 15 orb right here. That green is the high. The red is the low, right? Inside 15 right here, and it broke to the downside, right? So Facebook was pretty rough today. Pretty rough on trading Facebook. Let's take a look at the 3 real quick. Big inside 3 minute candle right here. That really kind of started it all going. So interesting stuff. CMG. Yeah, so CMG was pretty interesting today, guys. It gave a couple double inside 60s today, so it kind of gave us at the top right here, barely broke down, right? Then at the end of the day, it gave this, and it kind of, gave a nice push there over the VWAP, so it was good for 775 up to 777, so 2 points right there, which makes it tough to trade on the options because of spreads, but we'll see if that gets a little bit of continuation, right? So overall inside day, so if the market is nice and strong tomorrow, we could see an inside day up tomorrow as well as it, if it wants to retest those earnings highs, which might get a little more push through that. And then URI. URI. Wow, yeah, strong. Great job on this. This is this one's really working its way up. Nice hammer right there. Could be a continuation hammer. Might be a hanging man because it's kind of into this gap right here. But for the most part, it is doing a great job getting out of this mess, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4 days later, if you go to the 30, you can still do the 30, several days after earnings like Netflix and all that stuff, right? So if we kind of zoom out here, kind of look what happened. We had day 1, right? Year 15. Day 2, day 3. Day 4, it's finally starting to work its way up, right? So here we go. This is kind of back into the original 15 orb range here, right inside 30, then eventually worked its way up through the next day. And then today, this is kind of chopping around, but nice move yesterday on URI. So we'll see how this holds today. It's definitely, we just kind of looked at this upward trend line, so it's definitely trying to work its way up. So worth keeping an eye on there. And yeah, good stuff. Great. Nice charts for sure. So Dennis, what's happening? Look at MO for the divvy. What's the chart say as far as share price? So MO. Yeah, so right now we are, MO is, it's a little bit tough to trade, but we do have a bit of a shooting star pattern right here. So we had the inside day, kind of tried to bring it down a little bit, then tried to break out through it today and kind of failed, right? So it had its kind of recent move. It had some news recently, like an upgrade, and so just kind of looking at that at this point, right? So this shooting star pattern is interesting, right? Because it had that big drop down back here, right? And this shooting star is right into in that same zone where they pushed it down, right? So it looks like they're still trying to keep it down. It does have, like you said, it does have earnings coming up pretty soon. So that is coming up at 7:30:19, right? So so keep an eye on that. Again, it is tough to trade. It is a tough one to trade. Its candles get a little bit funky, right? It's got lots of big shadows and upper shadows, and it jumps around a lot. So it makes it really, really challenging to trade. Stacy, how's it going? What do you think of the inverted hammer on ZM? Let's see, like on the daily. Oh yeah. Yeah, I think it looks interesting, right? So, what I do see is that this has been the that trend line that we've had for a while, right? Since its inception, right? And it's really, really holding it really well. So that was the one thing we liked here when it tagged that, especially when it had that 60 anchor, it tagged it and then tagged it again and back up. And look what it's doing. It's still, every time it gets to this trend line, it is holding it. So, yeah, so we'll see. We'll see what it does tomorrow. See if it kind of gives us an interesting, maybe an intraday trade or something like that. But I do love how it's holding this trend line right here, and then maybe we'll catch another move back up. So we just have to keep an eye on it, right? So, as for the strength of it, I think we need to. The only way we can determine is if it holds this trend line or not, right? If it breaks below it and then gives us a minor pivot, then we'll look to see if it can get through this prior support level right here, and then it might work its way down because there's a huge gap below, right? Look at it. So really, the fangers, I'm telling you. In fact, we should. It's hot. Yeah, BYND and then zoom. Really? It's like I'm just typing in text. Like, why is it such a challenge? Well, give me 1 second. Wait for my computer to process this complicated 4-digit code. And then ZM. 2 digits on this one. Beyond and zoom back into the fangers. So we'll keep an eye on them. So yeah, definitely nice. Jason, so you bought Beyond at 230, calls it at $1 and sold after 150% and then sold too early as always. It's cool. I mean, it does get a little bouncy and a little bit funky on its options. So I mean, anytime you get 150%, that's a great trade. So nice stuff right there. So YOLO $80 contracts Beyond just never fade. It doesn't fade. So incredible stuff. Jay, hello. No, it's all good. I'm glad you made it. Also, some McDonald's and GD. So McDonald's earnings tomorrow morning. So let's see what it could do. So the big thing about McDonald's, right, is it's been as soon as it kind of renders everything, it's been working its way up this channel, right, for a very long time, right? And so here we are. Coming into earnings. So does it gap up tomorrow? Does it give us a move up to that kind of 218, 220 level and then work its way back down? Very, very possible. McDonald's does like to do some reversals on earnings day. So just keep an eye on the hourly chart on that tomorrow. Sometimes it gives some interesting moves. GD. Inside day here going into earnings. What was that? Was that? I don't even know what that was. Yeah, so going into earnings. Oh, I guess they had it today. They had earnings today. That's pretty boring, huh? Oh, was it yesterday? The 24th? So 24th. So yesterday before the didn't even mess with it. But GD is tough to trade, honestly. I mean, it's a good stock to have if you like getting dividends, right? Because it's just a war machine, so has that potential. But here's this, tensions in Korea, Middle East, and all that stuff. So it's got this upward trend line right here. So as long as it holds out, I don't even know what this is right now. Probably longer term, maybe longer term downward trend line, but yeah, it's working its way up inside day. So see if it holds. GD's a little bit tough to trade. It's definitely tough to day trade. But it's a good one to hold. It's definitely a good one if you go for dividends because it pays. Hey Jay, so you want to use options, but you don't know when is a good time to use them. So you just gamble and lose. So I really need this broken down Barney style. If anyone is great at options, please enlighten me. I gotcha. Yeah. So I guess it's all the key of what your time frame is, right? That you're trying to accomplish. Right, what time frame are you trying to trade on, right? So the longer term time frames you try to trade on, right, the farther out you have to go with options, right? And also please be sure. And I did do it Barney style. I did one. I'm going to post the playlist here for the options one. I know you probably caught it, but I do a whole thing on it. Give me 1 second. YouTube, Bullhead. Let me go to. Give me 1 second. Let me pull up that playlist and I'll post it. All right, let's see. Where's the options one? Yeah, it's even called Options Made Easy is the name of the playlist. So hold on 1 second. So let me post that here. But definitely go back through this. Okay, I posted it at the bottom there. But you got to look at what time frame you want to go, right? And then you got to figure out how long you want to hold it, right? So the key thing with options, right, is that you got to get the direction right, you got to get time right, and then you got to get your momentum right. So it makes three things are stacked against you with it, right? So with a stock, you can kind of hold it as long as you want to, right, and kind of let it work. With an option, right? You've got to get to a certain target within a certain amount of time or you're toast, right? Because you're fighting time on it, you're fighting momentum, right? And you're fighting direction, right? So that's really the key. But if you go through that series, right, I break it down Barney style, like how to, how options are priced, right? Like, so it's just your, just your value, right? Your intrinsic value, right? Which is the difference between the strike and then the actual price of the stock, right? So if you go to like GD, right, and you want to go, like, where is it? We're at 187 right now. So let's say I want to buy the 185s, right? They should be $2.61, right? Right, does that make sense? Right, so they're $1.87 right now, and I want to buy the 185s. So 187.61 minus 185 is $2.61. That's what they're worth, right? And what does it say here? They're $2.70 to $2.90, right? There's a bid and an ask. There's still supply and demand involved in it, right? So what does that tell you, right? That tells you that there's there's extra value in it, right? And and that is your premium, right? That's the addition to your premium there. So it's what? 11 cents, right, basically, right? So it has 11 cents of time value in it, and right, these expire tomorrow, so right, so that makes sense, right? Because that time is also in here. So when your time goes away, all that value goes away, and all you're left with is your intrinsic value. That's why when you go out of the money, they're so cheap, right? Because it has no intrinsic value. It's out of the money, right? So all this is just zero, basically. Some of it, there's some supply and demand there that people are trying to, maybe hopefully it'll go up or something like that. But for the most part, you're done, right? So, 187.61 minus 10 cents. These should be 10 cents, but they're not. They're 75. So you have 65 cents extra in there of time value, right? And a little bit of supply and demand type stuff, right? From 184 to 187, right? And if you could have caught it there on that break, like this day, right? On, what is it, 712? If you'd caught that, you'd have made 3 points on that in your options. You could have had a nice trade on that, right? So you just have to find whatever setups work for you, and then you can trade the options with it, right? So, but that's the key, is finding the setup that works for you. So on day 3 or 4 of that series that I pasted in there is I get into like setting up your trading plan, and and the key part about the trading plan is finding a system, right, a setup that really works for you, right? And then you can kind of go through and plug things in and see if it makes sense. And if you could do that, once you could, be okay, well, I like this setup a lot, right? I like cup and handles a lot, right? Then you go in and you plug in, your numbers and be like, okay, well, I like them a lot. I like them that, I'll risk 100 and I'll usually make double on it. And then you can just kind of go through it, but I only win in like 40% of the time, right? Well, then you can kind of calculate all that and see how much money you'll make over time, right? And if it turns out you plug all the stuff in there and it turns out you're not making money over time, you can find a new system or improve your accuracy, right? So that's the key there. Definitely go through that stuff. So Betray Axo, what's going on? Win, Alxo, Win and Pins, cool. Those are cool ones. Yeah, so Win, there's a few. I think it was LBS. Is Win reporting tomorrow? They reported like, wow, gosh, time goes so quickly. Feels like they just reported yesterday. Yeah, gosh, that was a good trade too. Let's see. So inside day today, earnings already coming around. Gosh, that really seemed like yesterday. Goodness gracious. All right, so yeah, look at this. It's been working its way up this channel. Inside day, earnings coming up, right? So 8-1, so you got a couple weeks on there. Let's see what this inside day does. Maybe it'll break down, test the bottom of that trend line, and then give you a little earnings run to the upside. So that's possible. Pins. Here's another one. Here's another IPO. Inside day. Wait, pretty close. High. 28. Yep, inside day. Earnings coming up. Still decent volume. Tradable volume. And then, by the way, Jay, and then only trade stuff that's like liquid, right? That actually has like option volume, right? Decent. And I go through that in the series, right? But that's really key too, right? Like pins, like how is it trading, right? Like does it make sense to even trade this? Let's see. Well, not really, right? Today's volume is like 100. I mean, it's okay, but right, you want your spreads to be decent, or you want your volume to be decent. I mean, it's okay. You could trade this, but look at that. There's really nothing going on. A little bit thin. Two right there. I know that's kind of deeply in the money, but still, 100. It's tough to make money if you can't get out. So just something to think about. But anyway, inside day here, yeah. So if it breaks to the upside, it's got like a little bit of a, what was it working on here? Kind of a cuppy, handly type thing. But what we could do is just look at the trend line to see what it's been doing. Right. So here's your recent trend line here. Here's your low. There's your breakout. Right here's your minor pivot up, inside day. So it might continue. Right. Could give you a shot there. Hey Pat, how's it going? Any thoughts on WDC? Yeah, sure. My thoughts is I wish I had it yesterday or 2 days ago. Like a friend and I were talking about it. We're like, oh yeah, this thing's getting ready to go, and it totally like just kind of got off the radar. But look at that beautiful like hammer sandwich right there to the upside. So it gave a real nice move the other day, and it looks like it's kind of calming down a little bit. But this gave a true cup and handle, guys. Look at this. Right, because the cup and handle goes like this, right? Always, a lot of times you think it just kind of comes down, but it actually has to come up first to start. There, right, kind of gives your cuppy here, handily. And then it comes back down again, right? And here's your level. So it gave, it really gave that, and then it gave that hammer bar, and then look at that. Yesterday was just perfect. What a great day to trade this yesterday, and then that up move right off of that cup and handle, right? And then so you look at yesterday. You just look at the price action. What did it give you, right? It gave you that inside 30. You could have traded that to the upside. Inside 50. Ooh, today was yucky. Inside 15 right there. Look at that. 56.49. Nice move to 57.24. A little bit of bull flag. And then back up, right? So nice stuff, right? Definitely tradable. So, but at this point, where's it going? I mean, it's over the cup and handle, so I wouldn't be surprised if it, kind of chopped around for a little bit, tested those levels, and then it's got earnings coming up, right, pretty soon, like next week. So on Wednesday. Next Wednesday's Fed Day, too, so just be careful with that, too. But we'll see what WDC's got going on with that. Hey, Robin, how's it going? QQQ and Roku. We already looked at Diz, so, but yeah, so QQQ, sure. Yeah, and if any of you trade QQQ, it's fun to trade too. It's actually pretty reasonable to trade. So it did its thing right there, right? My guess is it's probably going to be down a little bit. I mean, I don't know. The Q's, I guess it'll be okay. It's holding that trend line. So, and again, if Amazon rips tomorrow, gives you a big reversal, this thing could move back to all-time highs pretty quickly. And then Roku, absolutely. We will, Roku. Oof. This is really actually starting to look like a. Now it is below, right? It broke below this this upper trend line, right? And kind of gave you this minor pivot, right? We talked about this at that one there that could be a good short, and it did move. But then it came back inside day, tried to go back up, and it kind of a nasty price action today. But look at this bull flag too. I guess we could do it there, but. So look at that nice bull flag right there. So I would say tomorrow, if it could break over even today's kind of open, right, there's some decent potential on it. So for a bull flag break, so it kind of gave you that kind of flag type look today. Really tricky price action here. But yesterday it gave us that incredible move, right? This is the bottom of the 15 orb. Look at that inside 15 right there at the bottom of the orb right there. Nice little sneaky one right there, and then whoop, all the way back up. Great stuff. Give you a little 15 hammer at the end of the day. That's kind of cool. So yeah, so look for that bull flag, see if that does anything. Uri, how's it going? Jay, essentially we're all I know it is. But if you have the setups that work, right, exactly, yeah. Exactly. So it's like playing poker, right? If you have, a pair of aces in the hole, right? I mean, you have a much better chance of winning, right? So you want to find those aces in the hole, right? So you want to get dealt those, and we don't get dealt them every day. We don't. I try to point out as many as I can, right? I try to put the orb list out, the anchor list out, and all that stuff, so we can have like a set of everybody can have a set of systems that if they follow this stuff, can use, right? And so that's why I put it out there, just because it's it's stuff that we could do and trade, right? Not all of them materialize into anything, but there's a good probability they do. And then you just look for those like high probabilities. If you day trade, you look for those high probability setups intraday, right? And you just have to look and see what your success rates are, your win rates, your percentages, and all that stuff, and just see how you do. But you gotta go for the wins, right? You gotta get find whatever your percentage is highest with, and then work on increasing you got to win. You got to win at least 50%. Try to win at least 50% of the time, and then you can focus on increasing how much you win. Right? But you got to do it with setups that make sense. Right? So that's why I try to throw a lot of stuff like that out there. So. Oh, no problem, Call. My pleasure, man. Thank you too for always support and everything. Right? All your stuff's great. Alert said tag the trend line. What GD? YOLO. No problem, Jay. Yeah, my pleasure. Betray Alexo, no, my pleasure too. Pat T, thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Jason, what are my thoughts on Tesla? My thoughts on Tesla is I think it's gonna, if the market, yeah, I think a lot of people are gonna be looking at Amazon tomorrow, but I think Tesla could be a little bit sneaky. So I don't know. They're gonna have to have something up there soon. We got slammed, right? I mean, it got slammed. Hold on one sec. Okay, it tried. It tried to do all sorts of stuff that it couldn't get out of this range. But definitely keep an eye on the 30 orb on this one for the next couple days because it's going to do something, right? What I do like about it is that it gapped right down here to just this level. Like, this is just a pullback level that it came back to, and there's like, I mean, I guess there's like a little gap or something like that here. Closing gap right here. It's like 223 maybe. There's one here. Yeah, between those levels right there. So today's that closed 230.06. It hit that today and came off of it. Pretty interesting stuff. Like it had more volume the other day back here than it did like on earnings, right? So I don't know. It's just like a little bit of a pullback, honestly. So we'll see. It might chop around, might give another push down, fill a gap, but we'll keep an eye on the 30 orbs on it for sure. So that should be pretty interesting. And yeah, hey Shirley, how's it going? Good to see you. Let's see what you have. You got WP. Let's take a look. Let's look at our happy day. So WP. Oh, there. WP making its move. Nice. WorldPay. Cool. Give it 1 second here to refresh itself there. Okay, good. Cool one. Nice high today. Nice move. Trend is beautifully upward, so I like that one a lot. I like it a lot. TPX. Another big spike to highs. I like it. This one's a little bit extended here, Shirley, so just be careful. High. There, see how extended it is from its upward trend line? So what it does, it starts to look like a bump and run. Like that. So bump, and then just be careful, right? So it pulls out. As long as it holds this trend line, you're good. Right? But if it breaks down there, just be careful. Hey, Jay. Hey, Casey. Did you catch this action? Nice. Nice. Good stuff. Cool. That was pretty reasonable, Shirley. We'll take it. Good stuff. All right. Well, good. Well, it's almost 10:30, so appreciate everybody. No problem, Jason. My pleasure. Thank you, Saul. Thank you, Shirley. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in and checking us out, and for everybody for your support. So again, if you're new here, definitely subscribe on YouTube. And we do this every market night. We also put out other cool videos, so stay tuned for those. Also, if you don't follow us on Twitter yet, definitely the link is in the YouTube description. Check us out on Twitter. If you like all the charts and all the ideas that we have, check out positive-trends.com. We've got a couple different things. We've got a newsletter. We've got, alert service, and we've got the Twitter feed where you can check all our feeds. So definitely check that stuff out too, all our trades and everything. So lots of ideas, lots of educational videos in there, lots of support. So I think you guys will like it. So thank you, everybody. Hey, thanks, Sahil. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and have a great rest of your night. Tomorrow's Friday. Remember, think about next week's options so you don't get assigned, right? So just keep that in mind. And other than that, remember your risk first and stay safe so you can stay in the game. And I'll talk to you guys soon.